This Baller League project is causing problems in actual football. They had a $33 million investment to expand into the UK and the US, but players are now getting backlash and even kicked out of their own clubs.
That picked Baller League over professional football.
How did they come to generate so much money? How did they even make money? And what are they paying players is many questions people have that we're going to get into today about everything around the Baller League. The owner claims that they've had more eyeballs on it from a younger demographic than the Premier League itself.
Between 16 to 28, we are more watched than the Premier League.
The mainstream media said yes, there's a huge sum being pumped into the Baller League right now, and that part is obvious, but they need to make it feel big just to get it off the ground. But longer term, this is a financial nightmare waiting to happen. So founded in Germany by the entrepreneur Felix, who is the CEO, and backing from the German internationals Matt Hummels and Lucas Podolski, inspired by formats like the Spain's Kings League, and it aimed to create a shorter, more engaging match, typically 30 minutes to attract a younger audience, to Gen Zs who were disengaging from traditional 90-minute football. The early seasons in Germany featured ex-pros and influencers and content creators and built a following through viral clips and streaming. The founder recently claimed in the interview, between 16 and 28, we are more watched than the Premier League when it comes to live games, is what he claimed.
Between 16 to 28, we are more watched than the Premier League when it comes to live games, right? So we need to listen to the fans. At the same time, we need to educate them well enough and say, this is a new sport, this is what we're trying to do. Come on the journey with us, like we want to take you on the journey. Again, a stage for the most played sport in the world that is by far the second most watched sport league of this country already, and in the audience group that we care about, the most watched sport league in this country, right?
Yeah.
And the Premier League is not even close to that age group that we have. So we're doing a good job, and we can do better every single day, and I think that's why 11-side football is in the state that it's in. People don't care too much anymore making the product, again, I hate to use that word, but the league and the sport and the fan experience better. They care about filling their pockets.
In 2024, the official German launched an initial success. It was launched as a 6-a-side competition, completed multiple seasons up until 2026 now, and gained traction with high-scoring entertaining games and social media bars, and attracted sponsorship interest and provided a format for potential digital audiences. The Baller League in Germany was designed for the new streaming market, which is picking up, and generated high double-digit million revenues in euros within its first year, with hints suggesting an annual revenue between 50 and 100 million, despite operating with a small lean team. When they secured a $33 million in funding, the league paused the German operation to focus on expansion. Funding was needed as there's massive costs involved. The game days in Germany apparently had operational costs of 400,000 euros per event.
I don't sit there and enjoy watching football anymore. And the guys who started Baller League, a guy called Felix, he's got backers from Germany and across the world, they were fed up with seeing kind of tactical games where teams play against Man City, you kind of get 11 men behind the ball, and it's boring, and Man City try and break teams down, and it's really boring. You don't see many shots, you don't see many players like Hazard, Joe Cole, like getting people off their seats. So they started Baller League of going like, once you cross the halfway line, you have to go forward, you can't go backwards. And it's like the generation of kids, like you say, they love seeing it. Like the viewing figures have been way more than the Championship. I think that will grow next year as well because we're going again. But I think it gets to a point where people are getting fed up with it.
So after a massive investment, they decided to make an expansion into the UK and US, and it was announced as KSI tied to the UK version as president, and iShowSpeed later named for the US president. The people that will push forward the league. Baller League UK kicked off March 2025 at London's Copperbox Arena. It featured 12 teams and celebrity managers: Chloe Kelly, Michael Richards, Ian Wright, John Terry, Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer, and heavy streaming on Sky Sports, Twitch and YouTube. The match drew an average of 2 million per day in season 1. The final tour sold out of the O2 Arena, and social media exploded with clips, rivalries and influencer drama.
In the UK, we have people like KSI, Figo, John Terry, Gary Lineker, Micah and Alan have a team.
And so what's the deal there?
Well, they have to do certain obligations, meaning out of 12 game days, they need to be in the venue 6 times. They need to post a story on game day referring that our stream is now live. They need to do posts that we're looking for players. Like, they have a certain catalog of things that they need to do, and they get an amount of money for that.
The viewing figures were heavily dependent on the streamers actually watching it. It was getting more views than the actual Baller League themselves.
The Baller League's power has gone to its head, and the creators aren't having it. And their manager here, Stuart Jones, has said, these kids, man, they think they're their own stars in their own movie. It's all gone to their heads, which is stuff that Baller League have said. And yeah, if I just move myself over, you can see that Angry Ginge and Mini Minter outperformed the Baller League with their live stream of the Baller League. The Baller League beef is kind of crazy. It's kind of mad. And And I kind of saw it going this way because five-a-side is so competitive, and it's all fun and games at the start when you've got a new project on the go. But with this kind of thing, everyone always wants to win, and this kind of shit always happens. I think the Baller League forget sometimes how big these guys are, you know, especially Mini-Minter, Jesus Christ, and the Sidemen, so big. People are going to back them over a new competition that no one actually cares about. They just care about the people within that competition. I just find it so interesting that like a company like Baller League you would think is so up to date on who is going to be the most influential person we have on our books, and obviously they know KSI because they have him on commentary and that kind of thing all the time. But seriously, did they think someone like John Terry would hold more weight than these guys? Absolutely not, right? All people care about is the creators these days, and for good reason as well, because they've got the personalities and they bring the attention and the eyes. I just think it's mental that Baller League have had such an oversight where they've slandered these people in such a way, even though they're the only reason why anyone's actually there in the first place.
So at one point, the owner actually gets into a dispute with a big UK streamer, Angry Ginge. He criticises him and later has to apologise through the extreme backlash.
Talking about the football, Felix.
I just talked to Chunks about it. No, like I don't understand why we even give it a stage. I would just, I don't know, not give it camera time, right? And I don't know, cut to Brandon and he's telling us a joke or something like that. For me, this would be more interesting than what I saw there. But again, I said this 2 weeks ago. It's all getting to the head.
Angry Ginger's got to calm down, isn't he?
But his name is Angry Ginge.
I mean, he's living up to the name.
The last 2 weeks he's been Angry Ginge. Before that he was just Angry Ginge, but hopefully we see Happy Ginge soon.
I mean, now I feel bad because I just called the guy like out and now he loses again. Nobody should lose here, child, but nothing like that should ever happen, right? That's the thing. The football should decide a game and not 20 goofballs trying to be, I don't know, playing GTA, right?
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't happen.
Well, hopefully the next game is all about...
They're obviously a live streaming service themselves, so although having big ex-professional footballers around, a big part of this is also bringing on streamers and maintaining a relationship with them to grow this brand. He ended up apologising to Angry Ginge and bringing him back on.
It's nice to have him back, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm very happy he's back. I think he's happy to be back. 100%. I think it was a little bit of misunderstanding. You have to understand my language is not English, right? My language is German and Spanish. I live in Spain. I never meant to disrespect anybody. Chunks knows me maybe a little bit better now. I never want to do that. I'm a pure football lover. And also, I think I disrespected Micah a little bit by saying I don't like the stuff. I want them all to be super happy.
So season 1 performed really well in 2025. They done their second season in the same year, running into the new year. And again, that performed really well. Sky Sports renewed the broadcasting rights for season 2, announced October 2025, and again for season 3. It's a strong vote of confidence from a major broadcaster. Sponsorships and partnerships of Nike, the O2, and involvement in team marketing with big UEFA experience means the player pay increased in season 2. Top tier players up to £800 a game.
Is there any financial rewards?
Yeah, all the players get paid to play.
All right.
There's three contracts. So I've got a team of 12 players. You get 2 tier 1. I think it's 5 tier 2 and 4 tier 3, something like that. Tier 1's £800 a week. Tier 2 is 500 and tier 3 is 300. So for example, like for some players it's fucking massive.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
It's more
and the
than
spin-offs what come from it as well.
Exactly.
£800 a week, and
it's a week's wage in one night.
You're working. Yeah, exactly. That,
and you're on Sky, so you've got more chance of being seen, stuff like that.
In mid-January 2026, just days after season 2 had ended, HMRC filed a winding up petition against Baller League Limited to liquidate the company. What happened is the petition was triggered because the company submitted its VAT return 2 weeks late and HMRC withdrew within 48 days. Baller League stated it was fully up to date with its tax obligations and it was actually owed money by HMRC. The delay was reportedly due to the HMRC's own error. People was already thinking they had some sort of financial issues, but that was not the case. It was actually performing very well.
My thing is, you're playing at the Copbox Arena every single Monday. 3,000 to 5,000 fans there live. 100,000 people watching on YouTube. Plus Sky Sports. You got this guy commentating. So you got all of that stuff, right? If you were there and you weren't getting paid, but you got all of those things, every single player will be happy. Season 1, everyone's getting paid the same amount of money. The second, and it's like this not just in sports, it's like this in just humankind. It's class, working class, lower class. The second you add labels to people, that's when problems start. And then egos come and get involved. That's what I don't like, because the same players upset about tiers or struggling to understand it, they play at goals midweek and pay £7 each, £10 each. They pay to play. You're getting paid minimum £300 for 30 minutes of football. 90% of players that play non-league football, 11 aside, for 90 minutes. That's 3 times the length of one Ball League game. get paid less than that. Every 90 minutes of playing Ball League, you're paying £900. Imagine.
They have lucrative incomes through different models. Sponsorship and commercial platforms obviously is 85 to 90% of their revenue. Brands pay big money for shirt sponsorships, pitch side brands, and even digital integrations and rights across social media platforms. Key examples: Pepsi, Grenade, the protein brand, Foot Locker, the O2. But in Germany, they had a single shirt sponsor deal with a company worth €6 million. The UK deals have been strong and helped high visibility with Sky Sports and Team Marketing, the agency behind the UEFA Champions League finals commercial growth. Sponsors get direct access to the Gen Z audience and the creators like Angry Ginge, KSI and Sharky. And Sky Sports are even paying exclusive linear TV rights in the UK. Every Monday they have a night match live. Streaming remains mostly free on YouTube and social media platforms, no heavy reliance on ad revenue or paid subscriptions yet. With their international deals now, CBS Sports in the US is going to add revenue as the league expands. The matchday ticket sales as well, apparently ticket sales generated 2.5 to 3 million in the first UK season alone. The finals and big events drive strong attendance and premium pricing. And they're going to continue to expand with merchandise and team branding, which has been limited so far. There's even an angle here of potential future franchising and sales and team ownership models of these clubs.
Everything is owned by the league.
Okay. And then you'll sell the franchises when you're
down the
confident.
Line. Yep.
That there's this kind of like a bit like what the 100 have done with the ECB.
And then we won't only sell, we will also give then the team heads, which created the identity, give equity to keep doing the obligations that they need to do. And that automatically with media value that we can go out to sponsors and say, now you can get the chest of this team, now you can get the sleeve of this team. And you know what? We can guarantee you probably more eyeballs than a lower Premier League team because, I don't know, Mini Minter is saying, I'm doing a story each game day, I'm doing a right.
And the player wages are expanding with the growth as well. UK season 1 £400 per game, and apparently season 2 already up to £800 per game for 30 minutes of play. And this is where we get into the issues with actual football now. As the pay increases, it's talking youngsters out of going through the ranks of the National League, and it's caused tons of problems.
I went to Bundesliga and I said, this is shit, bro. If I was on that pitch, bro, I would turn that shit up, bro. Like, chat, you don't understand. Bro will tell you, man turned down a good four-digit contract a week to go to the block to sell certain services, bro. Because I didn't care. Man had contracts in the back of my car, cutting through the hood with big bro, cutting through the hood with professional contracts in the back of the car. Agents calling me, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And you not saying that, what's going on? Man just there on the block with big R9 and that, just burning stuff on the loud. I'm like, bro, I didn't care about football.
But why it's causing problems with actual football is because the Baller League are now taking players from actual clubs. So it started off with the Wealdstone FC player. They issued a strong public statement after the winger, Sak Hassan, 24, played for KSI's Prime FC, without the club being approached for permission. Notified in advance, Hassan scored and assisted in the 7-3 win, and Wealdstone opened an investigation, emphasising lack of consent. The statement gained millions of impressions, and KSI later posted a 4-word response. Some fans calling it classless, leading to further backlash, especially ironic given KSI's minority ownership stake in National League Southside, Dagenham and Redbridge.
But the biggest thing that people have taken was that I picked Baller League over professional football, which wasn't the case. It was at that time I wasn't enjoying my football with Wealdstone and I wasn't playing. And I'd rather be playing football than not be playing football, and that's what I decided. It was between not playing and playing. From my point of view, I know what's gone down, but I think at the same time I've got to stay as professional as I can be. I've still got a career in football that I want to have. I see a lot of JJ KSI on TV, but he's just actually a nice guy, proper nice guy. He called me saying, if you need anything, I'm here to help you. You're going through anything, whatever you need. He called me like a couple of days, like the day after and the day after again, just checking up on me. Same with Steve.
KSI and his Baller League team Prime FC protested against the non-league club after they released a statement. They wore the statement on the Twitter post as a way of clapping back.
Because on one hand, he's a pro footballer, pro contract, full-time, cool. But then, Ballers League, Prime FC, KSI. And you know anything if KSI means. So can you blame him though? Can you blame him? But like I said, I just want to hear what guys think about it. Because me personally, I hear both sides, but yeah.
You had the situation with AFC Rushden and Diamonds, a non-league team. Their players Bruno and Tyler were told to find new clubs after they were sent off for fighting each other in a non-league match. Both have been featuring in the Baller League, added to perceptions of divided loyalties or distraction. Dover Athletic, in late March, the club released Alfie Matthews and Francis, a material breach of contract after they appeared in the Baller League matches for Clutch FC and Prime FC. This brought the total of punishable league players to around 5 in a short period. Dover's manager had previously commented that some of the young players had made a mistake by participating, and some observers felt sackings were harsh, noting inconsistencies with other players.
Playing in the Baller League while under contract in the National League.
I can see both sides. I will say, I think Wildstone, in the Saka-San scandal, have thrown him under the bus massively.
But what was mad for me is that Wildstone coming out saying that he's only played 21 minutes under the new manager, and the board of directors or whatever it is will let him go when they're ready to let him go. So basically, don't think that he's going anywhere, but he's not in our plans for the future. And I think that's those sort of things are kind of what's wrong with football. But at the end of the day, a contract is a contract. So the club are well within their rights to move Bosi and do whatever they want to do. But at the same time, you can't shackle his legs. He can go and play if he wants to play.
Yeah, for sure. I do think if he didn't, but I don't think this is the case, but if he didn't, he should have told the club.
He should have told the club that he's going to go and play.
I think so.
Baller League.
At the end of the day, they're your employer. You're on a full-time deal. They're your employer.
So if I'm on contract, I should call my club and tell them, I'm going to play Ching for goals with my boys.
This is where it's different, right? Because that isn't like a standard organised level of football. Regardless of what we think of Baller League, right? It is an organised competition. It's on Sky Sports. There's a big chance of getting injured potentially.
Yeah.
I would be, look, you're not playing me. I want to play. This is actually keeping me fit, if anything. Like it's a good battle with some other players that are playing non-league. But also, it's a platform, right?
Yeah.
People know who Saka-San is off the back of some controversy, for example.
100%.
Right?
The Baller League now following the same sort of format, including streamers. iShowSpeed is obviously the main person behind their branch in America. KSI was the one in the UK. The same sort of format with new teams over there. They're trying to expand out into the US.
What if I told you football is going to be the biggest sport in the US? Not because of Messi in the MLS or the World Cup coming to the United States. It's all because of the Baller League. But what is it? Simple. It's a televised 6-a-side league with unique rules, ex-pros, and celebrities. And it started in Germany by Lucas Podolski and Mats Hummels, then exploded in the UK with KSI. Now it's coming to the US, and the names are insane. Here's the first batch of managers: iShowSpeed, Ronaldinho, Kai Cenat, Odell Beckham Jr., XQC, Usain Bolt, Drewski, and Marlon. But let's think about the reach for a second. Ronaldinho, 78 million Instagram followers. Kai Cenat, 20 million on Twitch itself. OBJ, 17 million NFL fans. XQC, 12 million on Twitch. Usain Bolt, 14 million fans. Drewski's just simply everywhere. And Speed, 5 billion views worldwide. That's hundreds of millions of people, many who've never watched football before, all going to tune in for their first season ever. But here's the kicker. There's still 5 managers the Baller League has to announce, and all the players.
I do think the UK, Spain, Italy, all the territories where 5-a-side is so big right now are the best ones for it, but the US has a massive streaming potential. As the Baller League season on season continues to grow, there's going to be more disputes as the pay increases. They may even compete with League 2 players, League 1, them sort of salaries, and people are always going to risk their job, or maybe they can work things out with clubs and find out negotiating tactics for these players. The owners have got some backlash in their own country for kind of neglecting where they come from and putting that on a pause. Some put out a statement, and so now said if you turn indoor football into an influencer B-grade celebrity show, you're inevitably going to attract money-hungry people and those who want attention. On top of that, you turn the entire amateur football scene against you because you're poaching their players and exposing them to risk. The media seem to think it's a matter of time before FIFA come for them. Someone said, and that's before we get into FIFA bans. FIFA isn't coming for the Baller League just yet. If they feel it's a real threat to their monopoly, expect the hammer to drop. Right now, they have bigger fish to fry. The Super League fight is far from over, and the battle will inevitably resurface. The Baller League starts making real noise. FIFA have no problem enforcing bans and crushing any aspirations of legitimacy.